fifth gear. Fifth gear. That's fifth gear. What's that noise, Amber? Hey, don't mind the lightning or thunder in the background. I just made it home in time after the 5-speed test drive. So this is episode 55, and in this episode I installed AC hoses, do another column, steering column mount. I start the stereo installation, and oops, sorry dog, some other stuff. So I just did a little test drive with the air conditioning and the 5-speed. They both kind of got finished at the same time. I just noticed that wheel's kind of cambered out. I think it's actually too high or too low, I don't know. Anyways, drove pretty good. The carburetor's a little hesitant for some crazy reason. I've been playing around with it. I got the idle better. Finally got my fast idle circuit working. But that's a whole another video. So this video is all about the AC lines. Oh, the AC evaporator. I finally get that thing mounted the way I want it after numerous attempts with brackets. I'm afraid to come out here. I'm afraid I'm gonna get hit by lightning. But yeah, the AC works. I'll show you more of that in the video, but thought I'd hose it out. Things are dirty. It's been sitting in the garage for so long. It's the first time it's been out in a while. Scary. Very scary. What do you think, Amber? You like the rain? Oh, I forgot to say, don't forget to like, comment down below, subscribe, notify, click the bell, all that fun stuff if you want to see more videos. Thanks for watching episode 55, I think. Alright, I changed my mind. I got sick of these bolts getting in the way of the AC box. So I'm not going to use those tabs anymore. So I ended up adding some flat tab here. This will actually end up working out better for the future glove box. So I went back to the original aluminum. I'm just going to bolt it from the top instead of from the side, because on the side that head just gets in the way. I just don't have the space for it. So I just welded these two on. 15 degrees to stock, whatever. So let that dry. We'll clean it, paint it, put it back in. Hopefully they'll work. Now I'm gonna make new one of these. I got rid of this need for this hole too. It's basically gonna mount these a little bit lower. It's so much. Alright, so I'm finally to the fun part of actually building hoses. Never done these before, but I did a couple of already. So I bought a kit off eBay or Amazon. It was like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dies. I just had a panic attack because it only has 8 and 10. There's only 3 hoses, 6, 8, and 10, and there's no 6. Yeah, there's no 6 die. There's an 8, there's a 10, but there's no 6. I'm like, great, why did I buy this kit? I just read the instructions that the purple is also a 6. So, because it's got 8 SRB and 6 SRB. So the SRBs are a new higher tech, smaller, skinnier hose. So it's got a smaller outside diameter. They're more flexible to get in tight areas. I think they're more expensive, and I read that they don't last as long. This came with old school, fat, normal size. So they do, I just noticed they do say 6 and 8 SRB, because on the box it only says 8 SRB. So you put them in the little machine here, you squeeze them. Like that. And then I found something that some of these don't actually fit. Like I was doing the 10s, they won't actually fit into this die. You have to actually unscrew this. I don't know if you can see this or not. Turn on. Let me see what I'm doing. Yeah, you got to unscrew this thing to get this jaw to open up all the way on the 10s, because they won't fit in there. So I'm going to screw that back. I just did a 10. So now, and then my universal kit I bought off eBay only came with 2 90s, 2 straights and stuff, and I need 3 90s, so I had to buy another pack of 90s for both the 10 and the 6 just because of the routing. I'll show you later. And I have been marking these hoses, but these new aftermarket ones got a little hole to tell you if they're in all the way. So shove that in there. It's getting hard to do sitting on the floor. Let's see if this one fits. Is it gonna fit? This is the same problem. See, it doesn't even fit. So you gotta unscrew. Oh, there we go. Don't have to screw it much. You gotta unscrew the jaw to get it to even go in. No other videos I watched showed that step. Now tighten the jaw back up. Close the valve. Now you can pump away. Now I'll get my hand out of the way and just pump this thing up. There's a mark on videos on where to stop, but this one doesn't have any marks, so I just pump it till it stops. Which is probably, there we go, it stopped. I don't know if you can see that. Turn the camera back on. And then you just release the die, pressure, pull the pin. So that's a steel one. So this kit came with aluminum ones. So I guess it's the same, what do you call it, tool for both, because I've done an aluminum one. I did one on the other end, but I accidentally used the wrong crimp, which is kind of hard to tell. But I used the wrong die. I used an 8 instead of a 6. It looks pretty good to me, actually. But that one's trash. That was my bad. Throw that one away. Make some more hoses. I'm gonna make quite a few hoses. So next step, cut this one to length. That's where it gets tricky. I finally got the box mounted where I want it. Took me many hours to get it to fit this well. I had to redesign my brackets. Mount it from the top, cut it down, mount it on the back firewall on both sides. I'm not mounting it from the top at all. It's way too wonky. So everything is hung off these brackets. And I use these new brackets with 1,000,000 holes, and they didn't actually help because I hadn't needed to raise it up. But anyways, filled millions of holes, and it's in there, and I've got it up pretty high. I've drilled a new hole in the firewall. So what dictated the placement of the final position of the box was the hoses, not so much the outputs. It's actually pretty tight. You can see my foot is a 9, and I can clear it. Maybe able to tilt it up a little bit more, but maybe not. So I got a number 10 hose on the back. Now unfortunately I wanted both hoses to go through the firewall here and then go along, but I can't do that because I don't have a hose that's a couple inches long to go straight and then turn left 90. I can't make a hose that short, at least not that I know of, unless you can buy a stubby extension or a stubby hardline or something. So what I'm doing is the number 10 is going on the inside of the truck down to that bulkhead fitting down there on the new plate. I made a new block-out plate for the steering. So the number 10 hose is going to terminate there. The number 6 hose is going right through the firewall. It's going to go to the dryer. So the dryer dictated where a lot of this goes. I didn't want to put the dryer in here, and the only place on the outside is, I'll show you where I put that. But anyways, I'm super happy with this. I've just ran the wipers. They don't hit, you know, all this stuff moves. This thing spins around like an idiot. So this doesn't hit. I had to lower my brackets so it doesn't hit my box. You know, my radio is right here, so hopefully I'm going to be able to duct all this. The more I tilt it down, the more I like the venting output, but then the less space I have, foot space. So I'm trying to find that balance and raise it up as high as possible. But this linkage is kind of a big limiting factor. I think ideally I would move the wipers, and I may move the wipers in the future. I was thinking about doing it now and getting like a D21 intermittent wiper motor and moving that thing like up. I don't even know if it's possible. This thing is pretty tight in there anyways. So if that motor ever dies and I have to do that, we'll figure that out in the future. But for now, pretty happy with this. I'm hoping this works. So let's just let's keep making hoses. I'm gonna make the hose that goes from here to there. I don't know if I filmed these before or not, but I finally got my visors back in a little while ago. I spray painted them satin black. The brackets gloss black, and I just polished up the chrome, some stainless bolts. I got the Really looks cool. Anyways, got my AC mounted. I don't know if I filmed that or not. Really happy with that. It's looking good. And just whipped up a bracket, painted it for my steering column. I've been meaning to make one for the left side for like a year. I don't know, a long time now. Here's a good shot of my steering column, or EPS, whatever you want to call it. The leaf. You can see how close I got it to the dash. But you can see I'm shaking it and it's pretty solid. Connected that crossbar. I got rid of the original Datsun 521 bracket. There's no way that would hold the weight of this motor and torque. But I noticed the last 3 trips I've done with the electric steering turned on, because I've been driving it for quite a long time with no electric steering. I just never got the wiring figured out, and I didn't have a good alternator, so never bothered to hook it up. But now that I got it turned on, I noticed that there's actually some movement in the wheels sometimes, so I'm thinking I just need to hook up this other mount here. I've only got one, and it kind of spins on this one. And this is not welded, this is just a slip joint. This is how the factory is on the leaf, and the leaf is the same diameter as the 521 as I documented, so I just slid it in there. So this thing can actually slide. So it's bolted on. Where did I put that bracket? Oh, there it is. So I made this complex bracket out of some old brackets, and this will connect the dots. And then before I painted it, I just drilled a hole and put a ribbon up. There we go. It goes like that. 8 millimeter bolt going up into the left side of the dash. There's nothing up there. Hey, it still fits up there. Welding and paint. Put that in there, and I'll put a nut on the bottom. Hopefully that'll rigidize it. This is probably the first time I've ever been able to see my hood cable. I don't know if that's where it's supposed to go. I saw some little holes over there, so I assume that's where it goes. I have no idea, but it works. So yeah, let's get some more air conditioning done. I've never done this before. I literally just welded in a radio. I finally mounted a double DIN radio in this dash. I welded a piece of steel to a piece of steel to a piece of steel, just tacked it while the radio's sitting in the pocket. And I just cut and made this piece. This bolts into the original holes for the upper dash. I'd replaced these screws with a 6 millimeter rivet nuts a while ago, which came in handy because now I just replaced them with some longer bolts. And this just bolts in, you know, like this. I just had it on there, put the 2 bolts in there, and it's just tight. It's not ideal, but this is a temporary radio. This is a cheap radio that was in my Frontier. I put a new one in the Frontier. This is only like a $30 double DIN one. I'm going to buy another better one, and the mounting will be different. I was going to mount at the sides, but these are rare mounting points, so I didn't use those. That steel is not doing anything. But yeah, I only drilled 1 hole in the dash. There was already a hole here, so I drilled 1 more 3 millimeter hole, and I bolted this bottom plate on. And yeah, the cup holder or ashtray thing, whatever, still fits. The wiring harness will still go along the top. Because that was the problem I was having with this radio in, with the wiring harness wanted to go right here. So I got to move it up into this space, and actually got to go into here. So because the ashtray thing is, I couldn't get the ashtray in with the radio and the wiring harness. All 3 are fighting for the same space. But I think this will work. This has taken me way too much time to try to figure out a way to mount this radio. It's kind of odd, but she's in there. Alright, my plan just keeps on changing. Originally I was going to put the dryer down there and have the hose go like that. I thought it was going to be perfect, but there's no way I can get a 90 from the inside unit, from the evaporator, and a 90 there. There's just not enough space. I'm like an inch or 2 short, so I'd have to put the dryer away from the wall. I don't want to do that. Or do I want to do that? I guess I could do that. So then I got the idea of putting it over here. Where's the little beast? So I butchered the bracket. And then there was no really good place to mount it, so I just made a little bracket. I could weld this bracket to and bolt it on. Kind of goes here. And the idea is that there's a 90 here, and another 90 here that goes down, goes along, And then I ordered a 180 degree to go into the bottom of this. Because it comes out of the compressor, into the top, out of the bottom, goes along here into the dryer and then in the evaporator. Out of there, goes around. So it does a full circle. So, I don't know. That's plan A. Should I put it over there? I already cut the bracket now. Originally I was going to put it in here. I bent all the brake lines out of the way. Yeah, it flips over the opposite way. The problem is going from here into there. It's hard to get in there. I'd have to push it farther out, which I could do, but I don't know. I can't make up my mind. I can't make up my mind. I don't know if I want it there or there. And if I put it here, well, I've already cut the hose now. Shoot, I just cut the hose. Yeah, I need more hose because I don't have enough now. I'm like 6 inches short. If I went that way, I think I would have had enough hose. I would have to have a 90 back here, which there is room. I don't know. Well, I've already cut the hose, so I guess I'll take this off and crimp it. And I always change in the future if I get nuts. This drives me nuts. But I think the next thing I need is weld that on there. Then I can crimp that hose, and I'll have that hose done. Then I have to go buy some more because this piece is useless now. Alright, so I just made another exhaust clamp. This is like my second one for here. So I had to make a removable exhaust clamp with a parts of an off-the-shelf kit. Uh-oh, what'd it go? Shoot. Where's the clamp gone? Oh, it's right here. So this one is going to use the factory mount with the little rubbers. And actually holds the exhaust up off the cross member. I made another one earlier. It was all complicated, big old steel. Made cardboard templates and cardboard templates. Came out really cool and really big and held the exhaust perfectly. But there was a flaw. You couldn't get this exhaust pipe out because it was on this side of the pipe. I even cut the muffler in half. Put a new clamp down there. Still, I even cut the frame some more. You can get it out, but it was really, really hard. So I end up doing 2.0 on this one. So now this is a removable version. Oh well. Alright, I just ran the AC line from under the steering column to the evaporator. And it does fit. It does clear the parking brake. It does clear the gas pedal. But my size 9 shoes, or 9.5. Just barely clear the hose. If anybody bigger feet drives this thing, you're gonna hit the hose. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do, while I got the dash out, let's do the mod I talked about in an earlier video. Moving this parking brake handle up, I think 2 inches I could go. And I was just gonna move this up because as you pull it out, it kind of goes down. It should only come out like 5 inches for a correctly adjusted parking brake. But I was gonna move it up just because I could, just to give me a little bit more knee room, leg room. So I was gonna move it up. I wasn't planning on modifying the back, but I think I will modify the back. I'll move the back up as well. I'll lose some leverage, but I'll still be able to pull the parking brake. I'm sure my wife will still be able to put it on. So I guess I'm gonna go ahead and do that today, because I will be able to move my AC line up, ideally to the pivot point of where the gas pedal is. That way it'll never get smashed by my foot or the gas pedal. Alright, here's the exhaust afterwards. See, I had to cut it in half to make it easier to install. Here's the trick. A 90, I think, 45, sorry. A 45 and a, oh god, whatever these were. Anyways, this is a 45 and these are 25, whatever they are. That was the trick to go over the axle. Alright, as you can see my new exhaust. Just need another pipe to make it a little bit longer. But I just soldered in my reverse camera. I hope I did the right wire. Looks like it goes the white wire. Green with white. So now my reverse camera should come on when I'm in reverse. Now I just need to install the stereo so I can see the video. It's wired up.